Hey, it's another episode of the Donnie and Anthony Show, the DNA show, because Black and Blue, that Panther Black and Blue is in our DNA. And hey, this time around, we want to talk about something that's coming up here pretty soon, training camp. But first, hey, on your left of your screen, you got Donnie, Anthony, your host of the DNA show. How you doing, man?
Blessed to be here, man. Hey, look, inching one day close at a time to training camp and football time, Carolina football time to start coming around. I can't wait, man.
Hey, the next best thing next to Christmas. So it is Christmas in July, actually. So, as they say, and it's getting close to training camp coming this Wednesday. So, as of recording of this video. So, hey, coming up here soon, we want to give a preview to that. So, today we're talking about the Panthers training camp preview. What's going down? We should be looking towards? What we could look forward to. So, and if you forgive that misspelling there, training camp. So training camp starts July 27th, but the first preseason game will be August 13th. And August 13th, I will be with my wife for 15 years. So shout out to my wife. I love you. All right, hey,
Congratulations, sir.
thank you. So, but we ain't doing no celebrating watching Panthers football, right? No, I'm just kidding. But hey, uh, but there's a lot of battles going on in the camp this year. We got a brand new team, people coming in, and some veterans. They got some competition. That's exactly what the Panthers need, I think. So me and Donnie want to go and show you some of these position battles. So starting first, all the different positions that will be battling for that starting spot. And here we go first. All right, so in training camp, we're going to see position battles between quarterbacks, the backup running back, because we know who's going to start there, the third string wide receivers, tight end, defensive tackle, and cornerback. And Donnie's going to jump in here soon and walk you through it. And also, hey, he's going to give you a little prediction of who he thinks may take the starting spot, but we never know. So, first off, the first position battle, the biggest one, the most questions are surrounding that quarterback position. All
Man,
right, at that quarterback position, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Matt Corral, the rookie, the vet, and the hey in betweener, I guess you could say. So, and last year we all know what happened. Sam Darnold. That is, we're 0 for 2 at quarterback with Teddy Bridgewater and Sam Darnold. Now, are we going to strike out with Baker Mayfield, or is Matt Corral the future? Donnie, what do you think between these three young men here, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Matt Corral? Those three guys, what do you see happening? What do you see the depth chart looking like come the start of the season?
so man, in my honest opinion, I think I think Baker's going to be our starter. I think he's the most talented in that quarterback room, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, I know we haven't seen much of Matt Corral, but proven and actual talent. I mean, Baker was taken number one overall for a reason, and there's a reason why we were pursuing him as heavily as we were. It's been going on for a while, man. So we've been kind of adamant getting Baker, and I think Baker's ready to play right away. So I go Baker Mayfield to start. Sam Darnold will follow him up with second in the depth chart just because he's already had a year in the Matt Rule regime. He's already kind of had some experience as quarterback, whether it was good or bad. Obviously, it was a fucking shit show, but you know, I just think that it would only make sense for him to be second. And of course, Matt Corral, a young guy that we drafted, one of my favorite draft picks. He's definitely not my favorite because Iggy's my favorite, but he was definitely my favorite draft pick. Man, I liked Corral, but the biggest thing, I was talking to someone about this earlier. Corral's okay at 3 because this situation probably isn't the best for him to be started out in. Like, you need to let Baker try to prove himself, and let Sam Darnold be like a second to last resort. I think Baker's someone good to learn behind. Baker's experienced a lot of highs and a lot of lows in this league. To me, Sam Darnold doesn't even exist, even fucking exist. So I see it Baker 1, Sam Darnold 2 with his previous experience, and then 3, Matt Corral.
Right. I would agree with you completely there. So Matt Corral taking back seat at third string doesn't mean that he's bad or anything. Just it's just how it all folds out. Keep his
Mm,
mouth shut, ears open, and learn from both of them their success and their mistakes. I don't know what you can learn from Sam Darnold, how not to play, maybe. But yeah, Baker,
Right.
he'll be a leader for him. And so yeah, Matt Corral. Uh, yeah, I definitely see that quarterback room being Baker and Matt in the future once Sam is done there. Man, Donnie, just give me one word. What pleasure would it bring you for the quarterback room to read Baker Mayfield, Matt Corral, Cam Newton?
Sheer. That's the kind of pleasure. A sheer fucking pleasure. Unfortunately, unfortunately, we won't be able to get that. I don't see it happening, but it would mean a lot to have it. Cam, Baker, and Matt Corral. I mean, shoot, man, if that was a quarterback room, Matt Corral would have great company. I mean, he's had two studs in college, and then come over to the league and have some success. One being MVP, one being one of the first quarterbacks to ever take the Browns to AFC Championship game. I mean, there's a lot to learn there. Both guys went through highs and lows, but obviously not we, because I damn sure don't, but obviously Matt Rule and Dave Tepper love something about Sam Darnold. It must be that fucking red hair. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Fucker has no pass. All he has zero grit, zero determination. He throws a pick. But first, he don't even pick up the tap. The first thing he does is picks up that damn hat, slips it right on, and sits back and drinks some Gatorade like nothing ever happened. So, yeah, that's what we're stuck with. I do learn a lot from Baker, though. Matt Corral can.
I agree 100%. But there's going to be a young man lining up behind whoever starts there. And it will be Christian McCaffrey. But who's going to back up Christian McCaffrey? We got a new signee and a guy who's been there for a couple years now. So let's take a look at that backup running back position. All right, the backup running back is between Chuba Hubbard and Donte Foreman. Donte Foreman coming for the tight ends. They backed up Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry was hurt last year for some games, right? And he stepped in and almost produced just
Yep.
about as much as Henry, or at least half that. So uh, Chuba Hubbard has had some issues catching the ball. So but he's got big shoes to fill with Christian McCaffrey, who's the best receiving running back in the league, and in our opinion, the best running back in the league, period. But yeah, he drops a lot of balls. But between those two, the new guy and Chuba, the returning guy, who do you see winning this matchup here?
So I do see Chuba beating out Donte Foreman. Chuba did play pretty good in Christian's absence, and I do think that Chuba has a lot of upside. Man, he's just got to catch the football. I think with the way football's going, I mean, the checkdowns are becoming something that the quarterback is definitely relying upon if the first and second reason there, depending on the pass rush. But I just think Chuba, for his rookie season, I think he had a hell of a rookie season. Anytime his number was called, he produced and he took good care of the football. He runs physical and he has a really good motor. He does not get tired, and he's pretty quick too. I do think we have a great running back in Chuba Hubbard. However, I do see Donte Foreman getting a lot of touches when it comes to those, close yardage situations. Some of those heavy set situations as far as offensive line setup and like for instance like bunch formations and stuff like that. And I do see him in the red zone. So go, red zone, third and short, maybe second and short. I do see us using Donte Foreman a little bit. So it would be McCaffrey, Chuba Hubbard, and Foreman for me. Donte Foreman is a great running back. I mean, we're not a great running back, but he's a great asset to have if you're friend. If Christian would be out. And if we didn't have Chuba Hubbard, I mean, I'd be comfortable with Donte Foreman carrying the rock. He's a good physical back. He's a taller guy. So we have really good. That's probably one of our most underrated skill positions so far is our running back room. Very underrated. All three of those guys are capable of playing 16, 17 games a season. Everyone was like, "Whoa, Christian McCaffrey's been hurt." He has, but Christian has also played 16 games a season, for 3 straight years, capable of doing it. But when it comes to, for instance, if that were to happen to Christian again, we do have Chuba and we do have Donte, and those are really good physical backs that we're going to need. But I hope Christian can make it all 17 games and be as productive as he has, his first 2 years in the NFL. So
Yeah, you're right. The bruiser bait that we've been missing, the smash to Christian McCaffrey's dash. So, um, uh, yeah, I definitely see the same lineup as you did. Christian, Chuba, Dante, and Dante could even be put in there and at the back while Christian is split wide, and either one of those could end up with the ball. So you're a very good statement there by you saying this is a very underrated running back room and uh, and big assets to have. And yeah, that's a good point. And I am very interested to see what happened with all three guys. So and and can all three of them catch the ball like Christian McCaffrey? Can they all get in on that check down? Like you said, the NFL is checking down a lot more, and they all three need to be able to do it. Christian can do it. The other two need to be able to do it on a consistent basis. But speaking of catching the ball, that third wide receiver, we know two other guys who are probably going to start. We got one more. Who's taking that third spot? So now, looking at your third string wide receiver, of course, DJ Moore is our number one. Robbie Anderson's going to be our number two. We got the second year, Terrance Marshall Jr. coming in. He was a rookie last year. Didn't really get to see a whole lot from him. Showed things here and there, but not all his fault either. There was a lot of problems on offense, so didn't really get to see his true potential. Rashard Higgins is coming from Cleveland, just like Baker. Him and Baker played in Cleveland together. Can that be another connection there? Can they hook up in Carolina and make some magic in Carolina? So between those two, the third guy, Donnie, Terrance Marshall Jr., Rashard Higgins, who do you see coming back as the victor there?
So that's a really good question, man. It's something I've been thinking about ever since we signed Rashard Higgins. The thing about Terrance Marshall is, number one, I'm not trying to be biased. I'm a big LSU guy. Was able to see him play alongside Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson.
Mm,
Always up there with him as far as talent level goes. However, he's had this. I think it's like either a foot or ankle injury he's been battling since high school, and it seems like he's always coming back to bite him or bother him at some point. However, as far as talent goes, I think Terrance Marshall is better. I'm just going to be honest. I think Terrance Marshall is a better receiver. However, we didn't see much of Terrance Marshall last year, whether that be per Joe Brady or whether that just be him maybe not knowing the playbook or what he was supposed to be doing on the field. I don't know. That really hasn't
point.
been said. From a talent perspective, I do think Terrance Marshall is better. I'll say that again. However, one thing that comes into effect is Rashard Higgins and Baker Mayfield's success in Cleveland. They were pretty damn good together in Cleveland. That's where a lot of Baker's high percentage throws went. That's where some of his touchdowns went. And he just seemed to have a rhythm with Rashard Higgins. And Rashard Higgins has always been on the record, saying good things about Baker. So I think that connection probably could bump him up to third, man. I do. Like I said, Rashard had a lot of success with Baker, man. And I mean, Terrance Marshall didn't have his best rookie season. We didn't see much of the guy last year. And the only time we saw Terrance Marshall, not to be funny, it was a bubble screen. That usually ended up being snuffed out. So we really didn't get to see a lot of
Sure.
Terrance Marshall. Kind of hurts me because he was a second round draft pick, and we picked him there for a reason. So
Yeah.
I would like for it to be, Terrance Marshall over Rashard Higgins, but realistically, if I had to be honest, based off production and previous connections with, I assume, the starter Baker Mayfield, it'd have to be Rashard Higgins.
Yeah. A lot of good points there. That may be the second biggest battle to watch behind quarterback. So and also
I agree.
depends who starts. So yeah, very big question there. I am interested to see how both of these young men do in the preseason games and in training camp, and see if they can gel with these quarterbacks. So it is a new playbook under Ben McAdoo, new offensive coordinator, new playbook, new routes, new schemes. So can Higgins do his part and Baker do his part? And can they get that connection going in Carolina? Or can Terrance finally get a little bit of help, a little bit better? What can he do this year?
I didn't mean to interject, but I will say, man, one thing, whoever's starting at quarterback this year, I mean, there should be no reason why we shouldn't have any production with the kind of talent we have at receiver. If you think about it, we got DJ, we got Robbie Anderson, We got Rashard Higgins. We got Terrance Marshall Jr. We got Shot Smith, Brandon
Yes.
Zylstra. If I need to keep going,
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's reliable targets there that
Yes.
could impact this football team.
Yes.
There should be no reason we don't get at least 250, 300 yards through the air every fucking game. Excuse my French, but I'm tired. This is the most the core has been ever. I'm going to be honest, ever. Talent-wise.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Even with Steve Smith, yes, Steve Smith's my favorite football player ever. But even when Steve Smith was playing, him and Moose, those are like the only two reliable targets. Maybe Ricky Pro, yeah, but we have 6 targets who can really be impactful. 3, I think, elite targets. So, but we have 6 in total that could really take a football game over. And there's no fucking excuse why we shouldn't be balling this year.
Fantastic point.
Ben McAdoo doesn't have to really. I don't think he has to be sweating bullets over anything. Like, let's get these guys involved, man. I'm tired of the lack of production. Like, Robbie had a terrible year last year. I do anticipate Robbie having a bounce back. I'm really motivated, and I really like Robbie. I hope he has a bounce back. But make a long story short, not to keep dragging it on, no fucking reason why we should fail at receiving. As far as receivers go this year, we shouldn't fail as a receiving core. No way.
Fantastic point, man. It doesn't matter who's at this third. Whoever gets this slot at third string, there's 6 of them that should be catching the ball. And hey, let's add 2 more guys to another battle we should watch from the tight end position. All right, for the tight ends, we got Ian Thomas, who we just re-signed to 3 years, and Tommy Tremble, which is second year. Is that correct?
Yep, this is going to be his second year.
Yeah, second year. So fresh face and a new contract. Those 2 guys, both of them are potential starters. This might be another big one to watch. So between the 2, Ian Thomas, they talked about his run blocking being very well. Tommy Treble's got the other flip of the coin, the other side of the coin, where his receiving is where it's at. So between those 2, Donnie, who do you see starting out at the end of that offensive line, that extra guy there?
You know what's crazy, man? I do think Ian Thomas is a great extension to the run game. But you know what's even crazier is Tommy Tremble has both. We drafted Tommy because he can actually – Tommy is actually a better blocker than he is a better receiver. I do think he's the better overall tight end when it comes to just a 3-down tight end for, maybe even 4 down. There's a such thing if we tend to go for it as many times before. I do think I'm more comfortable having Tommy Tremble on the football field than I am Ian Thomas. Just because in Tommy Tremble's short time in Carolina, he's been open 10 times more than Ian Thomas has.
Good point.
I'll say that. Now, one thing about Tommy that kind of worries me is he doesn't have one of those secure hands. He's always, not always, but there's been times where he's bobbled the football when he catches it. I do like Tommy, and I do like what he could bring into the run game. However, if I have to be realistic, based off Ben McAdoo's comments, I do think Ian Thomas will end up being our starter. Tommy will end up him and Tommy, I think, will split reps. But when it comes to the damn Fox shit at the bottom of the starting lineup, Ian Thomas on that. So.
Well, let me ask you this: do you see a Greg Olsen, Jeremy Shockey Part 2 happening, where sometimes they ran those double tight ends? Do you see both of them on the field at the same time at times with Ben McAdoo's new offense?
I would much rather see one tight end on the field and let's get more of those receivers out there.
Sure,
I want
the point.
I'm sorry, man. I don't have any beef with Ian Thomas. If anything, his time in Carolina has kind of made me uneasy, but I don't have beef with him. But anytime he's on the field, I'm kind of concerned. As far as if he's the guy to go to, I'm not about no saying. But nah, man, I think we just need to have one tight end. We need to have 3 or 4 receivers out there. Let's really stretch this damn defense and make them try to stop us. And Christian in the backfield, or maybe even split Christian out 5 wide. Fuck it, let's go. Hey, look, by the way, go back on my point I mean earlier. Let's say 7 receivers because Christian McCaffrey is in there as well. So.
Wow, that's true.
I mean, I think
plenty, more than enough targets in Carolina. Yeah, and no excuse. Yeah, offensive line, hold up your job. So Baker, whoever's behind it, please be Baker. But whoever's behind center can do their job. He's got plenty of targets. Yeah. So that's it for our offense there. Now let's head to defense. There's not many on defense, but we did want to point out two positions. On defense, we're looking at a defensive tackle. So before that, at defensive end, we're kind of set. Brian Burns on one side, probably Gus Matos on the other side. That could something else could happen there, but as of now, we're probably going to say Matos there. Linebackers are set. Two new additions with Littleton, Wilson, and Shags coming back. Our safeties are good with Woods and Chin. But first, defensive tackle. So between Derrick Brown and Matthew, help me out, Donnie.
Ioaniddis.
Ioannidis. That's what I thought. Matthew Ioannidis. Of course, Donnie
Like
knows
Greek
that.
or something.
He's the man with that. So,
I appreciate
so
this
yes.
damn nerd.
No, you're just a big old fan. But between these two, me and Donnie loved Derrick Brown coming out of college. We still love him. We're not disappointed, but it's just that run. The run was a big problem last year, and we want Derrick Brown. Boy, we want you to eat this year up that middle. All right, you look a young face, man. Get it all scratched up for us this year. Get it punched in.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, get nasty out there a little bit. And a new addition from the Washington football team. Now the Commanders. Matthew Ioannidis came to us, and now I think we're looking at a battle between those two. So another one to look on defense. So between those two, Donnie, who do you see taking that number one spot?
A little ludicrous.
There you go.
Beautiful. So, man, if I had to be realistic, Derrick Brown is a very talented defensive tackle. I loved him in Auburn. I love him in Carolina. Two things I want to say. One, Derrick Brown will end up being a starter due to his ability. He already knows the scheme. He already knows Phil Stowe's scheme, probably to a T. I'm sure the schematic part is not the problem. It's more the production. However, in Auburn, it was noted that Derrick Brown needs another space eater beside him to really show his true potential. What better acquisition to have than Matt Ioannidis, who played fairly well out. He had a really good run in Washington. He was a pretty high regarded free agent for a lot of people. He was really good last year. I do think that it would go one Brown, right beside him will be Ioannidis, and then Davion Nixon. Hope he returns healthy, will be there. And then I think Bravion Roy will be somewhere in that mix as well. I would like to see Derrick stop the run better this year. One of my favorite things about Derrick, people are probably going to think I'm just trying to be a troll, but I love how he gets his hands up in the passing lane and is able to deflect the pass.
Yes. Good point.
He was always so good at that. That is just like, so to me, that's the second best thing you can do if you're not able to get any from a quarterback is somehow get your hand up in that passing lane and deflect the ball.
Yes.
Derrick, I think, it's like J.J. Watt. There's another D tackle that I can't think of right now. And Derrick Brown are like some of the best at getting their hands up in the passing lane and really bat footballs down. I do think this is going to be a good year for Derrick Brown because he does have a space eater in Matt Ioannidis, and that he also is going to be able to rush freely. Because, I mean, let's be honest, outside of Derrick Brown, I can't really think of anyone who was somewhat of a threat to D tackle. Unless I'm overlooking someone, Anthony. Who was it last year? It was Derrick Brown. It was Davion Nixon for a little bit. Bravion Roy was beside him for a little bit.
Roy.
I can't believe
with a H is Hayward, Haywood or something.
Morgan Fox is at D tackle for a little bit.
Oh yeah, Morgan Fox. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, he was there at D tackle, but the thing about Morgan Fox is he's a little bit too light.
Yeah, for sure. He looked damn good though. He looked scary.
Oh, no, for sure. I mean, he wasn't bad. I just think that a 280, 290 true D tackle Matt Ioannidis is going to help Derrick Brown have his best year so far. I will make that bold prediction and say Derrick Brown will have his best year this year if he stays healthy. God willing, hope he does. But yeah, Brown, Ioannidis, Roy, or Nixon, then Roy.
I like it. That's a great point about the getting the hands up at the defensive at the line. A lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people don't watch the footage in the games like we do intensely, and Derrick Brown does do that quite a bit. He is a playmaker at that. So, um, the next position, the last position here on defense, probably what I'm most excited for myself is the cornerback who runs away with the number one slot. So at cornerback, there are a lot of options, almost like receivers. We got as many as, like Donnie said earlier, we got 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 15, 30, 37, 38. we got we got a lot of people on the receivers, a lot of targets there. And it's the same thing in the defensive back room. There's a lot of those guys. Actually, as of today, as their 90 man roster, before it gets cut down before the season to 56, somewhere around that number. Um, as of now, I counted 9 cornerbacks. So now who takes that number one slot? I think it's down to 3 guys. Me and Donnie have talked. I think it's down to 3 guys: Jaycee Horn, Donte Jackson, CJ Henderson. Now I think it's weird. It's going number one. It's probably going to be down to either JC or Donte for that number one spot, and then who takes number 2. Um, so the question is do they go ahead and give it to Donte because of him being a veteran? He's been with the team 5 years, something like that. And Jaycee Horn was hurt early, but before he got hurt, ladies and gentlemen, go back and watch it. He was one of your best corners in the game, and CJ Henderson is damn good as well. So, who do you see? What do you see the lineup as a whole, Donnie? Who's 1? Who's 2? Who's 3? Cornerback.
So much like Terrance Marshall Jr., man, I've always loved Donte Jackson in college, and even when we drafted him, it's kind of the similar situation for Terrance Marshall as it is Donte Jackson. 2 second-round pick guys who were highly talented, and I do think Donte has what it takes to be. Donte has shown flashes. Make no mistake about it, Donte has shown flashes to have great instincts, and at some point this year, for a pretty good stretch of games, Donte Jackson was fucking balling. He was balling.
Yep.
Something happened to where he just lost his flow. And so, with that being said, Donte has also been up and down at Carolina. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Donte lives to be a true elite lockdown corner. I mean, even though he's 5'10", 5'11", he's done a really good job with some of these top tier receivers, but the inconsistency for a long stretch of time too has hurt him. So I see it being Jaycee Horn at 1, 2 Donte Jackson, and another person similar to Donte Jackson is CJ Henderson. Has all the tools. He's a tall 6'1". He's a very tall 6'1". He's really fast. He has long arms. He's got good ball skills. There's a reason he was drafted at number 9 overall. I think it was 9 or 10. But, he was taken within the first 10 picks. So we have a very talented secondary in totality. In total, we have nothing but young, hungry guys who have this raw talent. And the biggest thing is, though, Anthony, I know this is a sidetrack from what we were talking about as far as position goes, but I think we have brought back the perfect person to unlock this talent of all these guys. Steve Wilks. I think Steve Wilks is going to be the game changer in this. I do think that we're going to see Donte Jackson reach an all-time high at this season. I think we're going to get this technique that everyone's been talking about him getting down. It's going to get down. And then Steve Wilks with Jaycee Horn, my God. That's going to be a Josh Norman 2.0. It's going to be what Josh Norman should in that amount of time.
Yes.
And I think with Jaycee Horn, or not Jaycee Horn, but CJ Henderson meshed into the good young 9, 10 overall pick he was touted to be. So we have a very, very great raw, young set of corners, man. This is a very talented group, man. We're blessed to have it at the price that we've had all of them too.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe our most talented group on the
ever.
Team. Yeah.
It's like the receiving group. It's the talent can be the franchise's best ever, both receiver and corner. It just depends on if we can reach those potentials that are there. there's a reason why some of these guys were taken at the point where they were taken. So Steve Wilkes, I think he's got the keys to the kingdom to turn these guys around. He's made some really good ball players in the secondary, man, and he knows defense better than just about anybody. So yeah. But to circle back around, I go Jaycee, Donte, and then CJ.
Fantastic. I love it, man. And the last thing you said there was the talent level there. And you brought up the receivers again and the defensive backs. And guess what? They're getting ready to have training camp here together here soon. So all that talent at receiver, all that talent at corner, going one-on-one every day, getting each other better, talking shit, roughing each other up, but then being a brotherhood at the end of the day, man, you could see the best corners and receivers coming straight out of Carolina this year. I could see it. I can see it. I can see it. And great point, man. I completely forgot about bringing back Coach Wilkes, to coach that defensive back group. Excitement is upon us in Carolina. I am very excited. There's a lot of people, Donnie, that has been talking to you, on social media and stuff, talking to me, and just doesn't give this team the chance. They don't give them a chance in hell. And understandably so, to a point because of last year. But the offseason we had, everything we've been bringing in, the improvements, the coaching, and I just see I see goodness. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'll say that. So, so training camp is coming up, man. Tell me some of the things you're looking forward to the most, and final thoughts going into training camp starting this Wednesday, July 27th.
Things I'm looking forward to the most, man, is finding our true starter quarterback. I want to find out how much Baker Mayfield has learned over this short amount of time. He can't control when he was traded. I want to see how much knowledge he's absorbed through this playbook in a short amount of time. I want us to get our true number one quarterback. I would like for us to get a defined number 3 wide receiver in this training camp. And I really want to see – I'm not really worried about the linebackers, man. The linebackers I'm not really worried about. We have a good set there. I want to see how the secondary plays out, man. I do. So it would go for me finding our true number one quarterback. Second, seeing how this offensive line holds up in training camp. If problems there, we'll look into that. And then lastly, man, is the corners. I want to see these corners show the great ball skills and show their great instincts, man. They have all the. This could be a truly exciting season, man. And I'm really optimistic. The more we've been talking about it, the more energetic I've been getting, believe it or not. I got a belly full of damn white dog shit. I'm just playing. I got a belly full of Texas Step Brothers reference for you guys trying to take that literal. What's the Step Brothers reference? I got a belly full of Texas Roadhouse, and I got some fucking sweet frog in me. So I believe it or not, I'm in it, but I'm full too. But regardless of that, I'm very optimistic, man. I'll get the fucking camera. I can't fucking wait. I can't wait. This is gonna be a special one. If everyone reaches their true potential. That's only if. But this could be the making of a very special football season in the Carolina.
Agree.
And I watch fucking start to finish, whether it be game 1, game 16, 48-0, us 40, 0-48, us losing. I don't give a shit. I'm just excited. I give a shit. I can't. I just hope we reach these heights that we have. And one last thing, I'll let you ride it. Matt Rule can't fuck this up.
Yes.
This is a situation for you, player. This is your fucking last shot, as John Gruden said at one receiver. This is your last shot. You got to make this shit work, man. You got too much talent. I know Baker Mayfield, he's a fucking Baker Mayfield's a bitch. I hate Baker Mayfield, or Baker Mayfield's overrated. Baker Mayfield is one of those big personalities, but I think if Baker's healthy and his mind's in the right place and he just lets football be football, like he said in his interview, we got a lethal fucking football team. As long as Matt Rule just lets it ride. Don't fucking worry about food. You can DoorDash or whatever after the game. Use that book. I'm playing. But Matt Rule, and this is a golden ticket for me to eat crow. I'll gladly eat it. So, Matt, if you're listening at home while you're eating, make me eat crow. Keep pounding. I gotta fucking say.
Yes, man. Yes. No excuses. No excuses whatsoever. But
Nope.
training camp, it's a training camp for everyone, for the players and the coaches. And it's time to get better. Now is the time. With this roster, ladies and gentlemen, now is the time to get better in Carolina. With this roster,
Amen.
you can't get any better. If you can't do it now, you can't do it never. And
Amen.
that falls on Matthew Joseph. I can't even say it.
Oh, me, baby.
So
Steve Joseph Smith. Let's go, man.
no excuses whatsoever. But hey, training camp is starting this Wednesday as of this video, July 27th. And then first preseason game is not too far behind that, August 13th. Preseason is also shorter this year. There are only 3 games. So you guys who are trying to make the team, good luck to you. We love you. We'll welcome you here in Carolina. But you only got 3 games to do it. So go out there, play hard, and make a difference, man. Welcome to Carolina while you're at it, man. Queen City on here. This is the DNA show. Black and blue runs through our DNA. And, hey, it's on the inside of every jersey and the inside the collar. Donnie, tell him, baby, as always.
Keep motherfucking pounding, baby.
Keep pounding. Yeah.
Oh, you know it's about to happen. We all good. We going in. Count it off. 5, 4, 3, 2, go. I'm a real life go-getter, baby. I'm a go-getter.